Yeah? Alright, well we'll get started. So I've just been giving everyone, just filling in time, a bit of a rundown of our story about evolution over the last couple of years and how we ended up where we are. Alright, we're going to use the microphone.
Okay.
Let's see. It's recording.
Yeah.
There we go. Great, so welcome everyone. I know we've kind of gone around and introduced ourselves already, but I'll go first and then I'll hand you to Nicola. So my name is Anthony. I'm the discipline lead of behavioural health. So the counselling suite of courses sit within behavioural health, which is the discipline. So yeah, that's who I am. So I am a clinical psychologist by training, I suppose. When I went to uni late in life. I took 13 years off after school and I just kind of, I don't really know what I did. 13 years just went like that. And then I went to uni for the first time and I did my undergraduate and I did my postgraduate and I did my PhD and I finished everything. And then at 40 years old, I went and got my first job. So there we go. I have worked clinically, but I'm now full-time in an academic role. So when I did work clinically, I worked in places like Department of Corrections. So I worked in high security prisons. I joined the Army, so I worked as an Army psychologist. I also worked in schools around South Australia. I had my own private practice with a colleague for a while. So that was my clinical side. And then I started in an academic role probably about 10 years ago. And you can imagine I started 4 days clinical, 1 day academic, and then it slowly blurred the other way. 2 days academic, 3 days clinical, and then it went the other way, and then I'm now sort of full-time in an academic role. I still make stuff up as I go along, but I think I'm getting a little bit better. Tessa's like smiling in the back of the room. All right, that's me. I'll hand you to Nicola.
Oh, I've got...
Oh, you got one.
This one works. Hello, can you hear me? So yeah, my name's Nicola Trenorden. I've recently joined this fabulous team, so I've come from teaching in social work up the other end of the campus. And I am a clinical counsellor and a social worker. Most of my clinical experience has been in the non-government sector, mainly working with children and young people and at times with families. And a number of different services. Probably where I've stayed the longest is in STARS, Survivors of the Torture, Trauma Assistance and Rehabilitation Service. It's quite a mouthful, working in the space of refugee trauma, where I was a senior counsellor and manager of the child and youth team, and working there with children and young people and families therapeutically. So my expertise really is in the trauma-informed space. And so that's kind of led to, I guess, a segue into academia. So I've been teaching in social work for quite a while. Sort of, I guess, I really do merge my social work training and my counselling training. I've been a counsellor a lot longer than I have been a social worker, which has also led to a PhD that I'm slowly plugging away, which is looking at how trauma-informed creativity and imagination can inform children's voices, promote their visibility, help them with meaning making and bolster their resilience. So it's kind of a combination of all my work over 30 years in the industry. And I guess for you, coming into teaching as a casual academic for quite a while, but more full-time here probably just for the last few years. So I've got a lot of clinical experience that I can bring to the teaching. Hopefully will help you make sense of all the theory that you're going to read. And yeah, it's really good to be here, part of this team. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Have we got someone coming in late? No. All right. We'll go through these. I didn't do an acknowledgement to country, and maybe I should have done that first, but we acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land that Flinders has campuses on, and we honour the elders past, present and emerging. All right, so who's coming, put your hand up, who's coming back to uni after a break? A few people. So the other people who didn't put their hand up, you've been around for a while? Yeah. What have you been doing?
early July.
Yep.
I've visited at least 5 times over here. I've got a gist around like what's going on and where are the buildings located and all.
Great. Okay, so have everyone got their login set up?
Yeah.
The fans and the passwords and everything? Yep, so you know? Oh, you have. It was kind of a half nod, a combination of a nod and a shake. Great.
And if you haven't, where do students get assistance?
Well, I think everyone has. Has everyone got it? Yep? Yep?
No, I think there's one student here.
All right. You haven't got it yet?
No.
Great. So, can your team help with that?
So do you know what needs to happen to get all of that information? Have you received the emails to go through that? Yeah? Yes. Yes, so you would have received some emails that would have given you some guidance on how to do that, but if you get stuck and you're not sure how to move forward with the process, there's Flinders Connect, which is on the main campus, located near the library. They'll be able to step you through the process. Yeah, no problem.
So, is there anyone walking up to the hub after? Maybe they can show, or maybe we can walk you up if no one else is as well. Yeah? You can? Fantastic. Maybe, have you got time? So maybe, yep. Awesome.
That's lovely.
All right, new students. Okay, I don't know what I was supposed to say about that slide. But yes, but that's the slide and that's what it says. Has everyone got their ID cards? Yeah, because that's through the Flinders Connect and everything as well.
Like
Yep.
this.
Great. So so apart from you, everyone else has got their card organised? Yeah, haven't? No? So again, if you can head up to Flinders Connect, they do it on the spot, so they can give you a card.
It's really
Yep.
quick. Yeah.
Yep. But you can walk up after and do it? Yeah. You're reluctant. Why are you reluctant?
And anyway, have to go up to the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. You can get sushi up there.
Like it.
And they have Red Bull in the vending machines if you're looking for it. Okay, has everyone enrolled in topics? Yep, everyone's enrolled in who's doing it part-time? Great, so you've enrolled in 2?
Yes.
Yep, and everyone else is enrolled in the standard 4?
Yeah.
Yep, fantastic. Okay, so everyone's done that, which is great. Now we've got student admin services. Now these are your most valuable resources, and I'm going to hand you over to Tessa, because Tessa is student admin services.
Entirely. No, there's a big team of us that are involved, including Amanda over here, who is part of the team. We're located just slightly further down the hill in the hospital, and that's where the college office is. So my role within the team is an enrolment and course advisor. So I'm here to help and support you if you have any questions about the course, what topics you need to be studying, when you need to be studying them. We have a document called a study planner, which we can put together for all of you that leads you through the topics in the course and when you might want to study them. And once you've completed your first semester, if you're looking to have that updated, you're certainly welcome to contact us and we can send you that information through. I do have another colleague, Kelly, who is on leave at the moment. Normally she would be here, and she's also an enrolment and course advisor. So it might not just be myself that you hear from, there could be a range of people. We also have people in the team that can help you with timetabling, if you have questions about assessments, exams, all within the team that can help you. The best way to contact us, we can be contacted via the general inquiries email, which is here, or by submitting an Ask Flinders request. And I'll just go to the next one. So one of the most important things when contacting us is to make sure that you include as much information as possible so that we know who you are. We do get emailed sometimes where we don't know who the student is, and that makes that initial conversation quite difficult. But as long as you are identifying who you are, whether that be with your student ID or your FAN or your first and last name, and then if you can provide as much information in that email as possible, it will make the entire process much, much smoother. If you don't know what you are looking for and you just need to ask for help, that's okay too. you can say that. We are not here to judge you, we are here to help you with any aspect of your studies. If you are not sure who you need to talk to, but you need to talk to somebody, reach out to us. If I am not the person that can help you, I can certainly direct you into the right path. And we are here to support you whenever we can. And we wish you all the success with your degree, whichever one that may be. And if you need anything, we're here to help you. I think that's me done.
Fantastic. Thank you. I think you had another slide.
Oh, did I?
No, don't. Okay, Canvas. Some of you who are coming back after a while, it was probably, well, it's always called Flow, but it used to be Flow on a Moodle platform. Now it's Flow on a Canvas platform. And Flow stands for Flinders Learning what? Online. There you go. So always been Flow, but different platforms. So those of you who never used the old style will probably be great on the new style because you don't know anything else. Canvas is fairly easy to follow, but you can ask us, your topic coordinators, Fiona, who's the course coordinator. You know, you can ask us any questions like that, and we can help you navigate the Canvas system. It's fairly, you've got a menu on the side, and you can look for the assignments, and it will give you the details. So it's fairly self-explanatory, but come and see us if you have any problems, and we'll explain, you know, as you come in on Tuesdays, because that's when most of your classes will be. You know, come in and we can sort of give you some advice if you want to check up on anything. So topics go live 7 days before class commences. So they should be live today. Now most of them are up, but I did check this morning and some aren't. So I have already contacted a few of those people and they should all be up live here today. The one that I looked at this morning is a master's subject in latter years, so it won't be relevant to you, actually. You'll only be looking at the first 4, and I think all of them are up at the moment. Are they up? Have you had a look? No? Oh, I thought you were eager. Obviously, this group is not as eager as I thought. Great. How do people get here? To have cars, transport, public transport? Bus? Yep. So buses, you've got your train station and the bus stops take you all the way up here outside of car park 7, I think it is, which is that way. If you have cars, you can park in car park 1. Car park 7 has a ticket machine, but it'll be expensive in the long run. So you need to sort of you can buy either a semester pass or you can just pay for the hours that you're here. Using an app. What's the online app called?
Cello. C-E-L-L-O.
Is it Cello or Cello?
Cello.
Cello.
Yeah.
Cello Park, yeah. It's fairly simple. You just log on and you can, I parked, I'm not here anymore. And then, is it expensive if you do the day rate?
It's like $2 an hour or something.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Expensive.
Yeah.
And I think the first so long is free.
Great. I looked at what my salary because I get my parking salary sacrificed, and I looked at it and I thought, shit, is it that expensive? It's quite expensive when you pay for it for the whole semester. And my wife works here as well. So we're double paying for it.
I looked at all the options and that is the cheapest if you park in because we're only here one day.
Yeah.
Or if we come in enough, it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense to park.
Absolutely, if you're only coming in a few times. All right. Okay, so that's all the transport. Scholarships, there are scholarships available. To tell you the truth, I don't have much to do with the scholarships, but hey, they're available. So if you're looking for one and you can put in for it, depending on, most scholarships are based on, I'm getting the finger.
Do you want me to talk about
Yes.
scholarships? Okay. Sorry, everybody.
No.
Before I worked for the college, I worked in student finance and I looked after scholarships. So there are some scholarships that are available for postgrad courses, but the majority of scholarships are available for undergraduate courses. But you're certainly welcome to go onto the website, which you can see over here. And this function here allows you to choose the applicable study level and then your student status. The student status, whether you are commencing or continuing, can impact what scholarships you are eligible for. This is what I say to everybody and have been saying for years. If you find one that you think that you are remotely eligible for, apply for it. There's no issue with applying for a scholarship that you then aren't eligible for. But if you are eligible and you win it, how fantastic is that? It's definitely worth getting involved with if you can. So I would recommend for everybody to check out if there are scholarships that you're eligible for.
Is there ever the case, from your knowledge in the past, that there are scholarships that didn't get awarded because no one applied?
Yes.
Yeah, great. So sometimes apply, because if you're if you're eligible for it, you'll be in the running anyway, but if no one else applies for it, you automatically get it. Absolutely do that. All right. Thank you. Okay, safety. This is, you can read, so I'm not going to read it again, but we want the campus to be as safe and supportive as possible. So if you see, or you experience any sort of like unacceptable behaviour or harassment, absolutely sort of like you can report that, you can, go to security, you can come through us and we'll sort of like direct you there. And that goes for in the classroom as well, obviously, because it's part of the wider university. I don't know what more I can say to that, apart from we absolutely try and make sure that this is as supportive and safe and friendly as possible, because if you're going somewhere that you don't feel comfortable, well, you're not really going to be in the space to be able to learn and do what you need to do. So, I'm absolutely supportive of that. Okay, I don't know what else to say, but we'll leave it at that. Okay, health counselling and disability services. This is a great service that's free to all students, and it can be used for a variety of reasons. You can be used. There's doctors up there. If you're having some trouble finances, if you're having some trouble with some challenges that you might be facing in life and you just need a bit of support, you can go up there. All students get that as a free service. I think it's 5 or 6 sessions that are free in a year. I don't actually know what happens after that, but I think it's...
If it's just going to health counselling
and
disability services, I don't think there is a limit.
No, all right. So it's a great support that you can access. If you just need a support plan for your own sort of like circumstances as well, you can go up there and you can get that support plan. Anyone who sort of like goes up there and has a support plan activated, gets automatic extensions. We'll do whatever we can to work in with you, whatever your circumstances are. But it's a great support that's available up there. Did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, just that's also where you would go if you, perhaps there were circumstances that came up where you needed more time and assessments, or just getting through your study. So there you can apply for access plans there that give you just more time when you're submitting your assessments and all those sorts of things. So well worth going and accessing the health counselling and disability services if something arises that's really challenging. Don't just try and get through it. Seek support, and you'll find that there's lots of things there that can be done to help you get through study, because the main aim is to really support you to get through the studies. We all recognise there's times in our lives when things pop up that just make it much harder. So.
Absolutely, and for those who are, everyone has a life. People have kids, people have jobs, people have all of these other things that kind of get in the way of study. So we can make allowances as far as we can. We can't, we can make really we can make the allowances that need to be made, but we still have deadlines that need to be made. So as long as we work together to find like a suitable solution, anything can kind of be done. Okay. Oasis is a centre that's kind of linked, but not directly linked to health counselling disability, but it's a fantastic resource that's available up. Once you get to know the hang of the hub and where the library is, there's some stairs that go up, some colourful stairs. As you head up those stairs and you just go through the building there, you'll come to a coffee cart, and then there's Oasis. And Oasis has all of these services that are free for you students up there. They have markets at, I think it's every Friday, and they run all of these courses, yoga, forest walks. They run a mental fitness group, a mindfulness yoga group. So a great resource again that you can access and use. International students, there's a whole international student services. So 3 international students here at the moment, 4, great. So I'm sure you're already probably connected with international student services, but they'll keep in contact with you and find out whatever needs to be done to support you. Just individually, I'm going to get in touch with everyone, and we're going to have a bit of a gathering up at the pub probably next week or the week after, just to kind of like welcome you all, make sure you can all get to know each other. I'm not being exclusive to the other students, but I'm just doing it to support the international because you're all new to Australia. So, we're going to, and maybe we'll connect you with some international students that started at the start of the year as well. Yeah? They don't hate us yet. I'll have to find out the ones that don't hate us. Joke, they all love us. Well, they love Nicola.
Do they?
Yes. Okay, so I spoke through some of these. All right. So orientation, we have O Week, and we're in O Week. It's not as big as the start of the year, but there's some activities in the hub that are available just to welcome new people to the university, which is exciting. You get free food sometimes. And this is just...
Does everybody know where the hub is? People know what we mean by the hub? Yeah? Most people?
Yeah.
The big plaza is, and the great big building with all the glass around it, and that's the hub.
Yeah. And here's some other things that are going on during O Week. So social events, fair days. So there's heaps of stuff going on which you might not know is going on unless you seek it out and want to get involved. And if you're, new to Australia and you've got time, if you don't have to go back to work or anything, get involved in some of these things. I remember when I was a mature age student and I was just over 30 and I went to Adelaide Uni and I got so excited about O Week and I got down there and I just thought, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm like a 31-year-old walking around with all these 18 and 19-year-olds. No one paid me any attention. It was hard for me to break in, but try it. I'm sure you'll have a better experience. Okay, Connect Week. Again, just some fun stuff that's going on. All right, so now we'll start talking about some stuff to do with the course. We'll start by saying some key dates. So classes for us start in week number 2. So we're in week 0 at the moment, which is effectively O Week. So the start of the semester is next week, which is week 1. And a lot of courses start their topics in week 1, but we don't. We start our topics in week 2. So that's what I mean there by week 2. It's week 2 of semester. All right. The last day to enrol in topics is week 2. All right. So if you're already enrolled, part-time 2, full-time 4, nothing you need to worry about. But as you go through, you know, while the dates will change, the theory will be the same in semesters going forward. So you can choose, you know, am I really going to do this now? Do I need to change for another one? Just remember that, you know, in week 2 of most semesters is the last day to enrol in topics, okay? But you've got till week 5 to withdraw with no foul, no money due, no nothing like that, all right? So that's what we call census date, all right? So if you start and things are going along fine, but something happens in your circumstances, you know, your work commitments or life, it just, you know, you can't do the 4 anymore or so on, you've got till census date to be able to withdraw, all right? So that gives you a bit of the flexibility there. And the last day to withdraw without failure is week 9, but hopefully no one will be doing that. Okay. I'll speak to you a bit about academic integrity. This just means your responsibilities as a postgraduate student, right? Same really as your responsibilities as an undergraduate student. But academic integrity sort of like is a big umbrella term, but it focuses on the quality of your own work, authorship, not stealing other people's ideas, etc. like that. So it could extend to something as simple as, you know, taking something from a journal, like a sentence or a paragraph, and plotting it into your essay. So you're obviously, if you don't reference that, that's plagiarising. If you reference it poorly, okay, it's still plagiarising. You're not referencing those ideas properly. So you need to like look at what the rules are around, you know, referencing. We usually use the, what style do we use here? The APA style. Harvard is acceptable as well, but it's usually the APA style that we ask for in all of our essays. It also extends to maybe if you've done a course, you've completed a course previously and you've handed in an assignment and you've got good scores for it. Say something, another assignment is very similar, taking the majority of that assignment you really got good marks for and plotting it into another one, that's kind of, you know, academic integrity issues as well, all right? Because it's misrepresenting your work or you're using previous work in another assignment. We've got Turnitin software in all of our topics, which means that when you submit a piece of work, you've got to run it through Turnitin, which will give us a score as to, you know, how much of this is original work and how much of it isn't. And, you know, obviously we get levels. There's a level that's acceptable and then there's a level that's telling us there's something going wrong here. So we'll get back and we'll ask you about that. What else? Oh, AI. I should mention AI. AI is a huge thing these days. Now, I'm a bit old school, so I don't use AI as much as other people. The stance within the university is we want to embrace AI. So if you can use AI to maybe generate the foundation, I'm saying that broadly, the foundation of something that might allow you to write something that you need to write, but then you take that foundation and you make it your own, that's allowed, all right? That's kind of where the university sits just broadly. But doing something totally via AI where nothing of you is involved and then handing that up, no, that's not okay. And Turnitin can detect that, all right, if something is totally AI or not. All right, did you want to say anything to that?
And I think, I'm still learning how this college works, but you'll find in each topic, is this right? It's up to the topic coordinator to how much AI you can actually use. So there might be assessments where you're not allowed to use any, and others you can use a moderate amount, is that right? And others you can use, so that's where I've come from, that's kind of how we work, so I'm not sure.
Right, we haven't broken it down like that. What we're trying to do is, within topics, we're trying to have at least one, if not two of the assessments by demonstration or a reflection, something that you can't pull from AI. there'll also be, usually most topics have got one essay because we want to see that demonstrated from you, and now you obviously can use AI to help you in that, but we don't want it all AI as such.
Are you disadvantaged if you don't use it?
I don't think you
Because,
are.
You know, the whole thing's a bit...
No. There's
Yeah.
a lot of flaws with AI.
Yeah. I mean, I've been playing with ChatGPT.
Because think about all the journal articles that are behind a paywall that AI can't access. And the latest I heard was that AI can't actually draw on any kind of material post 2021. I don't know if that's changed, but you know it can't do that. So you know you're doing yourself a disservice if you do that. And the other thing is that it's important that you declare if you use any kind of AI. And the other problem is that AI is still not sophisticated enough, so it will pick up everything. So if you use premium Grammarly, that will be in your AI score. So we will be asking you, you know, what did you use? What sort of software did you use? So there's a lot of our software still needs to improve in Turnitin, but I think it will be in this college that you have to declare that you've used any kind of AI connected software in your...
My sort of view on it is you can use it to give you that scaffold, but then you just got to write your own. You know, nothing compares to your own sort of thoughts, your own sort of ideas, and that's kind of what we want when we're asking you to demonstrate your understanding in some sort of an essay. Yeah? But to protect ourselves and to not allow that AI, I suppose, to invade too much, that's why we've moved to demonstration as much as we can, because you can't use AI for demonstration because you're literally there. And as often as we can, and as often as the college will give us funds to do, we hire actors in, and we want you to demonstrate skills in front of actors. And yeah, you can't run away from that. You've got to actually practice and demonstrate your skills. Because when you're out there and you're seeing real people, you got no one to draw from then. You've got to be able to know what you're doing. All right.
I can also highlight that, and something I've been reflecting on is that as the topic coordinator, you know, we spend a lot of time picking the reading materials for a topic, and you know, there's no way AI can be as sophisticated with the breadth of knowledge and understanding around the materials. So, you know, you're much better off looking at the resources that topic coordinator's put into that topic. That'll be far better than AI anyway. It takes more time, obviously, to pull them all up, but they've been carefully curated and selected for your learning. So it's better to rely on that, I think. Yeah.
Bit of a tip, when you are writing essays and you're using references, use recent references. Don't give us something from 30 or 40 years ago. We don't want that. Maybe you might have something from 30, 40 years ago for a foundational sort of theory, but nothing else. Okay, this is us. If you look at me really closely, I've got 2 different size eyes. See, now you won't be able to not see that, will you? Okay, so Paula, Fiona, this is course coordinator, Leanne, Tim. He is, you won't see him live. He's one of our supervisors for when people are on placements. So he's a clinical supervisor. Same with Megan. This is Rashini, Vicky, and this is Nicola.
There's 2 people I haven't met yet.
Who's that? Tim and Megan? Yeah. Great. All right, that's us.
And Diana? She's not there either.
Oh, don't tell her. Yes, there's another person as well. There's Di, but I forgot to put her photo up. Okay, we are accredited by the ACA and PACFA. And we recently were re-accredited by PACFA because we, you know how I said at the beginning we changed names? We were accredited for a number of years with the old Master of CBT, but then we changed names, and I said, well, can we just continue our accreditation? They said no, so we had to get re-accredited. So we're accredited for, I don't know, another 4 or 5 years, I don't know. We were accredited for a while. which is really great because that means that, you know, the quality of the course, and when you go out and you finish the course, you can be accredited with these bodies. So you can become student members now, and I'd encourage you to become student members, because then they'll send you a whole lot of information and you'll get to know what's happening. And then when you finish the course, depending on, you know, which organisation you're looking at, you'll be accredited at a certain level. And then once you are then out working and you have experience with clients and you move to the next level, you'll be moved up levels as you go. All right, and we'll try and get someone from PACFA and the ACA in to say hello to everyone. And we did that at the start of the year, and I reckon they're eager to do it again for the people starting mid-year. All right, you don't have to see all of this because obviously it's small letters, but the point being that this is the 2 years, all right? It goes from left to right. So the first 6 months are the first 4 topics along here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The first 4 topics are basically the certificate. So there's articulating courses. So the first 4 are the certificate, the first 7 are the diploma, and then the master's is the second year. So those of you who are doing the certificate are the first 4, and that will move into the diploma, and that'll move into the master's. All right, there is a bit of a caveat on that, which we're going to talk to you about after, because there's a face-to-face requirement as you move into the masters. So excluding the articulation bit, and we'll just jump to the masters, there's an in-person requirement that PACFA stipulate, not the ACA, but PACFA stipulate that. So there's a level of face-to-face that you need to attend, all right? And that's a requirement, which is we're going to be in... So this building is the Health Sciences Lecture Theatre Complex. The building over there is the Health Sciences Complex, or Health Sciences Building. So our lectures are going to be in the Health Sciences Building, not in this building. And we're going to be in level 1, so it's room 1.23. All right, so just over that little bridge and then downstairs. So all of the first 4 subjects are in that room downstairs. So level 1, 1.23. So for those of you who are doing it full time, you're doing 8044, 8019, 8035 and 8018. So fundamental counselling skills is 8044, fundamentals of clinical practice. So that's becoming a professional in this area is 8019. The theories of counselling and psychotherapy is 8035. So that's basically the different theories and where we position ourselves as counsellors. And then 8018 is a specific targeted guided self-help sort of skill that we teach, so an approach. So we have the fundamental topics there, adding that one specific guided self-help approach. It's referred to as low intensity CBT, but there's nothing low intensity about it. It's just a brief sort of approach. So we need to, it's common name in the vernacular, the LICBT, but we don't like it because it implies it's the easier option, and it's not. So this next 6 months, so for those of you who are doing it full time, you'll be doing this semester 1 next year. Is basically 8034, which is a motivational interviewing, which is a skill, which is a technique. 8021, which is going to change the name, that is, to advanced therapies for psychological disorders, and the first placement. Now, you can see there's 2 placements. One in the second half of the first year and one in the first half of the second year. Placements are incredibly important for this course and for your development as practitioners. But the increase in numbers has added a level of complexity for us because some students are able to source their own placements, but some students aren't able to do that. And obviously international students have less ability to source their own placements. So there is a degree of placements that we need to facilitate, and we've done that through relationships with different organisations. But we're also launching our own internal clinics, starting from this semester. We're partnering with Health to Go, which is on the Sturt campus, where we're going to have a face-to-face clinical service. And we're going to have a telehealth clinic, which is launching from the Health Services building. Now, this is new ground for us that we're trying to launch. Placement 1, if people can secure their own placements, they will be out in it with an industry partner for a placement on placement 1. If people can't secure their own placements, they're going to be in a kind of a rotation that we're going to set up, which is kind of a preparation for placement. And it's very applicable maybe for some people who've had no experience with counselling before and need that bit of extra support. So for those people who are in that rotation, it's going to be like 3 rotations over 15 weeks. 1 rotation will be working in our telehealth clinic, so live, helping people online. The second rotation will be working with clinical actors, clinical simulation of counselling, and the third rotation will be observation. What that means is if people do that and go through those rotations for placement 1, they need to be placed with an industry partner for placement 2, because there's a minimum requirement of hours that you need to have face-to-face on counselling placement to meet accreditation requirements. So we will try and work that out. So some people, might be able to get 2 placements, if they can organise their own placements. Some people may have to go into that rotation that I'm talking about and then have a placement for the second. So however it works out, you don't need to worry about it now because it won't be happening for you till next semester. But I'm just letting you know they're the options that we've started for this semester, because we've had a huge amount of people that are coming through, and some people are just not ready to go out on placement and be thrust somewhere, sitting by themselves, working in organisation, and they're not ready for that. So we need to work out a way that we can help better prepare them for that. So that's why we've got our rotation set up.
I have a question. If
Sure.
you started, you think you've got somewhere you can do your first placement, is that a difficult process?
No, start it now. So
So I've got somewhere that'll let me do it. I just wondered what was behind in the background, because they've been doing a lot with uni SA. They've not worked with Flinders.
Yeah. So just speak to us and Fiona initially, maybe when she gets back next week as a course coordinator, because you'll be looking at it for the first placement. But yeah, setting that up early is the key. And then if you've got some sort of way in there and a connection,
They've already said it's just the background.
Awesome. Yeah. So we have a department called WIL, which is Work Integrated Learning. So we basically get them involved, and then they contact the placement, make sure that everything's set up, and then they'll ask for specific things from the students, like working with children's check if it's required, vaccinations. I don't think that's a big thing anymore, but all of the things that are required. And then once you tick all them off and it's okay by Fiona, then we get in touch with the placement organisation to make sure it sort of fits in. So we'll do whatever we can to make sure it works for you. So,
Sorry, I was just going to ask, you have to have your own facilitator, or from the university that's sort of overseeing you, like those 2 people that were on those photos, or...
So how it usually happens is, depending on where you are, we would ask for there to be an on-site supervisor, and their role would be, let's say if you're working Tuesday and Wednesday, and if you're dealing with people face-to-face, if there's some sort of crisis that happens, on that Tuesday, there needs to be an on-site supervisor there that you can go to and seek support and help from. Then, great, so that's the on-site supervisor. And then from the university perspective, the clinical supervision that would be provided for you weekly would come from one of the academics. So you would have 2 supervisors. So one providing you clinical supervision from the university and then one on-site supervision wherever you are. Yeah?
Okay, so next year, I mean, I live in the Riverland. I mean, happy to come down. So how much would I have to come down? Like, I'm just trying to work out how, like, is it easy to do placement here when I'm here for study, or do I try and just do that at home? And, like, how much do I have to come?
Yeah, so this is part of what we'll talk about just after, if that's all right, because you're doing the certificate and...
Just at the moment, yeah, I probably am going to do the rest, but...
Yeah. And certificate you're allowed to do online. Diploma you're allowed to do online because the diploma is accredited by the ACA, but the problem that eventually you'll get to is if you want to transfer into the Masters, you wouldn't have done the face-to-face. So that's...
Yeah, no, I'll have to...
Yeah, we'll talk about that, yep. So, again, you don't have to look, but the second half of the year, you've got a few more options that you can do. There has to be a research element because it's a master's subject. Now, our research element used to be much larger, but no one liked it because everyone's not doing this course to be a researcher. They're doing this course to be a counsellor. So we stripped it down, but we've got to have one topic, and that's the research topic there, all right, which is in the second half of the year. Here we've got sort of counselling for relationships and sexual health, strength-based approaches for supporting young people, which is going to change a little bit. It'll be more of a sort of like counselling across the lifespan, but you have a bit more flexibility in choices, you know, when you get in the second year. Whereas in the first year, you don't have a choice. They're all kind of core subjects. Okay, so your timetable that you're probably looking at online probably looks a little bit confusing by just reading it. I like making tables, so these are my colourful tables. But your week might look like this. So 8019, 8018 and 8035 and 8044 are the fundamental topics. So if you're doing all 4 fundamental topics and you're enrolled full time, it means that you're here all day Tuesday. So this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's never anything on Monday and there's never anything on Friday. All right, they're 2 sort of like free days. Now that's for you, but it's also for us because as academics, we've got other things that we need to be involved with as well. So the Friday and the Monday allows us a bit of time to do those things. But we're also sort of, you know, if we can combine and the times that you need to be here and so you can make the best use of your time. So all of Tuesday and then Thursday morning, that's basically you guys for the first year. Now, as you move to the second half of the first year, you know, you're doing 8021 and 8033. So Wednesday will become the day that you're here rather than Tuesday. Yeah? And as you move later from there and you do more of the electives, you know, for example, for week 2 this year, 9037, which is the counselling for sexual health and relationships, is on a Thursday. And 9031, which is your second placement for the rest of the Thursday afternoon. You'll also see that on your timetables, there's this thing that keeps popping up on Wednesday. All right? There's about 5 or 6 of these throughout the semester, and I've just got them listed as therapy skills practice session. We started this for the first time first semester, all right? And basically, it's a time that appears in your timetable for all of your subjects, all right? So it'll appear for the subject for 8019, it'll appear for 8018, it'll appear for 8035, all right? So it's the same thing, but it'll appear in all of those subjects. That Wednesday afternoon, that hour, 1 to 2, is just meant to be a time where students, if they want, it's not compulsory, they can just come in and ask questions. There'll be a different academic down there every time. You can just ask questions, or as the semester progresses, You might want to practice skills, all right, with students. This is a time that you can either put in to do it. You know, you can meet other students down there. There's no reason why you can't organise your own time to meet, but we're trying to facilitate a time for it to happen. And it worked really well. Students got a lot out of it. We didn't get a huge attendance, but there was a core, probably about 10 or 12 that always showed up. You know, they showed up for the first time and it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And we had someone from PACFA come in. Then the second time they showed up thinking, are you going to tell us something? And then they finally worked out that no, we're not going to tell you anything. It's just kind of for you. And then they started getting the hang of things. And by the third and the fourth time, there was a whole lot of interaction. They were asking us different questions. We did a couple of role models of some skills, you know, and then we got the students to you know, do the practice. It worked out really well. But it's not compulsory. So the lectures or the seminars are compulsory, but that Wednesday time is not compulsory. It's just if you want to show up and if you've got a question, you can show up. Yeah? All right, everyone understand that? Okay, we have a landing page, which just means we have a page on Canvas, which is behavioural health counselling. There's a whole lot of information on there. Ooh, what time are we finishing?
4 minutes.
Okay. Is a whole lot of information on there about the course, who we are, everything like that, so you can access that. It's got a whole lot of resources on there, some counselling resources as well. I'll talk about industry placements. That's the last slide. So I've kind of spoken a bit about the industry placements already, but these are some of the organisations that we've got relationships with. International students, we know that we will support you with your placements, you know, through our organisations, through the Health to Go and the telehealth clinic. So we'll help you, you know, with the placements that you need to get the hours that you need. Unless you find your own organisations, but you're more than happy to do that. But we know that you're new to Australia and the likelihood of that is low. So we'll support you there. All right. Anyone have any questions? Because you've got 3 minutes.
If you do the part-time stream, like, because I'm full-time, but I'm not sure how it's going to work with what the attendance is there a certain 2 topics that you should do first?
Ooh. What have you done before?
I just recently did a psych degree and started my honours, but didn't like it.
Yep.
I'm a midwife.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The reason I asked that is you might be able to get some RPL for some of the topics. I don't know.
No.
But you know, have you looked into that?
No, I haven't. Yeah, and I do like sort of counselling stuff within my job.
So with your experience and maybe with what you've done before, maybe contact myself or Tessa, and we can look at if there is any RPL that can be provided. And the reason why I'm saying that first is let's explore that first and then see what is left, and then we can maybe determine what's the first 2 that would be the best 2 for you.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's one more question. Hopefully it's beneficial for everyone. But with the online option, obviously there's some tutes and workshops. Is there some components you must come to class for?
So here's we've got 2 accrediting bodies per se.
Yeah, I meant for the graduate diploma, like, because I know that if you want to do a master's, you've got to come to everything.
Yeah.
But if you say for the people that are just doing some grad diploma, what's that option?
If you are just doing the grad diploma and you know that for sure you'll never want to go on,
I'll be like...
You can... you can... There is online attendance.
Okay.
The ACA still accredits the diploma for online attendance.
Okay.
Yeah? It's just PACFA who apply that in-person requirement. So if you wanted to go on, you would be shooting yourself in the foot by not attending anything. I mean, just as a general statement, and I've got no control over PACFA, but we've kind of got a bit of a sense that they might come around, and you know, because at the moment, if I'm like online with you, you know, my definition that is face to face, you know, and ACA see it that way, but PACFA don't.
Yeah, because we went through a pandemic with, like, you know,
Yeah.
we had to have done that. Yeah.
So at that time, PACFA were fine with it, but they've changed back
Okay.
just recently. Yeah.
No, I just thought about,
I was just going to follow on from that one because I did the low intensity during COVID. So
Yep.
I did some in person, some online and completed it. The credit for it, but now I'm worried that PACFA won't recognise it.
Yeah, you can. There are ways that we can get around that. So you want to apply for RPL for that?
Yeah, I have already.
Great.
And they said it was fine.
Yep.
And I did the in-person version, but it turned into.
Great. Just come and talk to us. You'll be fine. That's all right. Yep.
I don't want to do it.
Yep.
I liked it, but I just don't
Oh,
want to do it.
hang on.
Sorry, I just said that motion there was from the discussions that we've had about how we'll be managing students that have done online study.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it will be a position where we'll be asking students to repeat the topic again.
Yeah.
It will be working out a process that we can get students to make up the face-to-face hours that they missed, as opposed to doing the topic again entirely.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be that type of situation.
Yeah.
And it also depends on how the attendance mode that you were enrolled. So if your attendance mode was internal when you enrolled into that topic, even if it went to online, on the system, it'll say in person, internal.
Okay.
So then that will be meeting that accreditation requirement.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So do I contact you about?
Sure can.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome.
Anyone else? Are you excited?
Yes.
We're excited. Yeah? So there's a lot of work for those of you who are doing it full time, meaning like there's certainly a bit of organisation required, because imagine a semester, all right? You've got, I don't know, the semester break here is a little bit later than it would be in first semester. So I think you've got 8 or 9 weeks before semester break, then a few weeks after. But if you think about that, most topics have 3 assessments. You're not going to have your assessment straight away, so you may not have your first assessment until week 4 or 5. All right, and then you've got only a few more weeks until mid-semester break, and then you've got a few more weeks after, you've got 2 more assessments, that's 4, you've got 8 assessments across the board, so it builds up really quick, so you've got to be organised to make sure you know what your assessments are, what you need to do, and plan ahead. Don't leave stuff till the last minute, because then you'll be scrambling to do stuff, and there'll be other requirements, and there'll be life that gets in the way, and you know, people will be sick and all of those sort of things. Yeah, there is a standard thing within Flinders now that you are entitled for a 3-day extension without any supporting documentation. So if you got something that's due on a Monday, I'm just giving you an example, you can get an extension. You can get an extension Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, well, till Thursday, all right? No questions asked. Yeah, so that's available for you to use it if you need it, yeah? But just a bit of a caveat here, if you extend everything and then you ask for extensions, then it's going to get even worse, right? Because then things are going to be all together at the end, all right? So use it, take it when you need it, but if you don't need it, don't take it. Get things in time. Yeah? All right. Did you want to say anything?
I just think now that you can actually access the topics and it's OWeek, good chance just to get into the topic and have a really good look while you're not, you know, having to submit things or there's any deadlines, particularly if flow's new to you. Spend some time just going in and out of everything so it becomes familiar, because there's a lot of detail on there, and then that will help you as you... And you can get ahead, you can start reading now if you want to. So when week 2 comes, you feel like you've got some sense of the topics that you're going to do. Yeah.
Great. Woohoo! All right, so you're walking up.
Yeah.
Yep, and then you're going to... Yep. What's your name again?
Anya.
Maria? Great, so you walk up and you need to go to Flinders Connect?
Yeah.
So do you? Yep. Yep.
Get married.
But I feel like that I'm pressuring you. You can go up whenever you want. Yeah? Alright.
And I'm happy to stay if anyone has any enrolment questions. Happy to help out.
And I've specifically asked for some lollies and biscuits to come, and so far no one's eaten any. So please take some. Alright.
Thank you.
That's right, you can hang around, we can ask more questions. Alright.